In the Chicago Sun-Times, there's a 25,000 reward for information in regarding the shooting of a girl 10 years old in the South Side of Chicago. They
Mm-hmm.
put 4 holes in her mother said, and you know, all these articles are going to be linked in the show notes, and all of you need to read them.
Mm-hmm.
The young girl's name is Lamaya Sparks, and she is among at least 30 children shot this year in Chicago. Now,
Yeah.
you might be asking, why am I doing this story? I get very, very distressed whenever I come across stories like this, because this happens significantly more than the stories that make it to the news, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not going to fight with people about police brutality. I'm not going to fight with you about how big of a problem it is. Whatever you believe about it, it's perfectly fine. My point, though, is whatever you believe about it, this story here happens significantly more than the George Floyd situations or the Ahmaud Arbery situations. This girl here and the 30 other kids, Shannon, some of my kids that were shot, that happens significantly more to us than the white police officer that shoots us down, or the white neighbors that chase us in a pickup truck, like that happened with Ahmaud Arbery. But these stories never get any attention. And it makes me upset because it's almost as if we collectively as a community have like a fuck 'em attitude if a white person didn't kill him. If a white person kills Shannon, she's going to be all over CNN. If I killed Shannon, just another,
Yes.
another domestic abuse situation or whatever they would say. You instantly, Shannon, wouldn't matter to anybody if I killed you, but you would matter to the world if some police officer shot you.
Yes.
I don't understand why that's the case. It makes me upset, but we need to bring stories like this to the light, because I can't be complaining about the media, and then when we start our own, black podcast, we don't bring it up.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why I wanted to bring it up, because Lamaya Sparks' life matters.
Yes.
I hate the Black Lives Matter movement, but if you're going to be out there screaming Black Lives Matter, to me, it is insane to focus on the minority of lives that are lost at the hands of the state and ignore the majority of Black lives that are lost within the community.
Yeah.
I don't understand it. And these are kids. These are kids.
I know.
They haven't grown.
I agree with you. I agree. I don't hate the Black Lives Matter movement like Jabari does, but
Yeah, I
I
know.
do but I am very aware that crime in the Black community also needs to be addressed. It is very large and it is very prominent, and it does happen very, very often, and we don't talk about it enough. And people don't see that as an issue, and I don't understand why that is either, to be honest.
You know what the thing is, Shannon? What's really bothering me? Children are the innocent.
Mm-hmm.
They have no enemies. They have a lot of friends because they don't know any better. They think everyone's different, but they're children.
Mm-hmm.
Children are supposed to be allowed to grow into adults.
Yep.
And then, as once they become adults, Shannon, who knows what they could do, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who knows what Lamaya Sparks would have been?
Well, she's not dead.
No, totally right. Totally, absolutely right. Lamaya Sparks, she is in the ICU.
Mm-hmm.
She is. Thank God for correcting me, Shannon. I don't want to speak that on anybody. She's alive.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking about the other 30 children that were shot. Mm-hmm. But I mean, ICU. Lamaya Sparks shouldn't be in the ICU.
Yes.
Every time one of these young Black children gets shot, whether they're killed or severely paralyzed, you don't know who you're taking out. Like, they could have become the person that would have created some cure for some disease, or been the person that created a new company that would have created thousands of jobs that Black communities could have used. I just don't understand why we don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I honestly don't understand either. And I'm a person, so what I scroll through Facebook comments a lot, like under news articles.
Mhm.
And when I see, so I see a lot of white people all the time, and sometimes they say really ignorant things, but sometimes a lot, I have seen this argument come up a lot, like, oh, Black lives don't matter to Black people. And
They
people
don't.
get mad when they say this, but I'm just like,
They
that's,
don't.
I'm like, it's kind of true. Like, it's kind of true. And I feel like if we want to be taken seriously, I feel like we need to focus in our own community first, because this is a problem that's been happening for so long, violence in our community, and that needs to be addressed.
You are significantly more likely to die at the hands of another Black person than you are at the hands of a white person. Now, that's true of every community. Here's the difference, though. They never tell you this. So you'll have the people on the right that you know. So Shannon will say Black Lives Matter. Somebody on the right will say, okay, well, how come you never talk about Black on Black crime? Then somebody on Shannon's side of the aisle usually says, every community is killed by other members of their community, which is true. What they don't tell you after that, though, is African American males are the only demographic in the country, Shannon, that between the ages of, like, I don't know, I think it's like 13 and between 13 and I think 30 or 39, our leading cause of death is homicide. Only demographic in the country. That's not true for Latinos, not true for whites, not true for Asians. It is only African Americans and males where our leading cause of death before like 39 or something like that is homicide. That's an issue. It's an issue we don't address. My guess, we don't address it because it's us that is the enemy.
Yeah.
Right. So it's easy to talk about, racism and white supremacy and all of that stuff because you're not the enemy. It has nothing to do with you. Are the perpetual victim. But it takes a different level of nuance and navigation and putting your emotions aside to have a conversation about crime within the community, because then you're talking about people that you actually want to help. And so how do you address the violence within your community when it's being perpetuated by certain Black people, usually Black men? Let's be honest here. We're talking about Black men usually in gangs that contribute to the high crime areas in Baltimore, Chicago, St. Louis, Oakland, Brooklyn, Brownsville. Like, we know what the problem is, but there's no will from the community on scale, because you absolutely have specific organizations and churches, and I don't want to downgrade or dismiss those people. But I'm talking about, we have a will on a large scale to get rid of police brutality. I don't feel like we have any will on a large scale, Shannon, to tackle community violence, which takes way more Black lives. And I want to end this show speaking about Lamaya Sparks, because I'm happy she's alive, but I'm very saddened that what happened to her. And nobody's you're not going to see the story on CNN, on MSNBC or Fox, because it's not salacious. It's not a white person killing a Black person. So they're not going to get no ads. But damn it, Lamaya Sparks' life matters to me, just like all those other people. So I just want to put that out there. I hope she survives. I'm praying for her and her mother. And that's all I have to say.